Welcome back to KBT Weekly, and you join us today. It's Monday, the 13th of September, 2021.
Put your head on my shoulder.
Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days.
But don't ever take sides with anyone against the family.
KBT Weekly, episode 10. It's September the 13th, 1969. We're taking you all the way back to the humble beginnings of KBT. Cheerio, pip pip. Sipping a cup of tea, Samantha. So in this episode, we're actually going to take you guys all the way back to 1969 when we first, well not me, but when my grandfather first started this business. So we're just gonna head up down to the cafe and see if we can vlog some material today and see what we can do. Technical error, cut. So obviously we're not in 1969, but the whole theme of this vlog is we're gonna take you back to our roots, back to our humble beginnings, to our first ever shop, which my grandfather set up. But you'll see as the vlog progresses, I found myself this old vintage car just to keep the theme running throughout the vlog. Let's head on out. So we're just in the heart of Alum Rock. This is where my grandfather ran his door-to-door sales business in the late 1960s. So KBT as a business started with my grandfather. His name was Abdul. He went from door to door and talking to people, building relations. When my grandfather first started this business, we were in the ladies' dresswear and fashion industry, not what we currently sell. Things sort of slowly progressed from there, and then before he knew it, he went and bought his first very own car. Where my beautiful old motor is parked, my grandfather used to come and park his car here, and all the locals, they used to get really excited because, you know, cars were like, you had maybe one or two cars at most on a street. I believe from what my uncle told me, it was a Morris Minor or something. And just behind me, coincidentally, it's still actually a cafe. All the guys used to meet up here. They used to come here for a cup of tea. My grandfather got very close with the owners of the old cafe. They told him at the time that they were going to sell the shop. Eventually he bought the shop, and this is how KBT was born. This was the very first building, and this is where he traded from for maybe a good 20 years. It's good to see that we still own the shop. There's heritage in the shop, sentimental value to my father. Obviously he grew up here, Saj grew up here, as well as my other uncles, and I have very, very vague memories of growing up in this shop, running around as a little nipper. He ran KBT from this building for about 20-25 years, at which point sadly he had some complications and had a triple heart bypass, at which point he sort of lost interest in the business. My father at the time was training to be a pilot, so my father left his flight school and came and took over the business. At this point, competition grew vastly in the local area. A lot of people were doing very similar things, and then at that point my father decided to actually take the business from here, use this as a depot, and take the business to the markets. I know we're in the 1960s theme. We are going to leave this here because I do have to shoot to Leicester. At the end of the day, we've still got our business to run.
So we got a 1969 scene, so I thought I'd come to work on this nice fancy bike. It's not an easy bike to ride. You might have noticed it's got a big wheel on the front and a small wheel on the back, and it's got no brakes. Whee! You have to keep pedaling. The faster you go, the easier it actually gets. Jump off. How about that? I gotta lock it up just in case somebody nicks it.
So we just got back to KBT. I'm just going to quickly run in, get changed, jump into the car. Not this one, my car. And then we're going to head over towards Leicester. We haven't had no lunch, which is blasphemous around here. So we're going to try and get some lunch in between all of that. Sahel took the car for a quick clean because it was absolutely filthy. But he's brought it back, immaculate as always. Thank you very much, Sahel.
No problem. That's for you. That's for me.
Thank you, sir.
See you next time.
Okay, we're just on the way to Leicester. We've got some fabric in the back that our customer's given us. They've somehow managed to get oil spillage all over the fabric, and they've asked us if we can get it cleaned. Obviously, we don't do that in-house, so Dad's found somebody, one of his good friends who does do that sort of stuff, and we're just on the way to drop that off to him. Once we're in Leicester, we're going to grab some food because me and Armour have had absolutely nothing to eat. Yo, Armour, look at that, that's nasty, isn't it? 1952 Mustang, that is. It's not the one that they've got in Power. I think it's the one older than that, or the one newer than that, one of them. We're in Leicester, we've come to see some suppliers, but unfortunately we couldn't film because they didn't want us to film, basically. We haven't had no lunch. We just come to grab a quick bite on the move, and then we're going to head back towards KBT. Yara, I've already ordered the food, man. Armour, just go grab the food. I'll move the car. Right, and just like that, we're back at KBT. It's the end of the day. It's been a long day. I thought that was some fans, but I got no fans. Hopefully we'll see you guys tomorrow at the markets. So we're at the markets here in Birmingham, most commonly known as the Birmingham Rag Market. You find us somewhere in 1985, shortly after my grandfather had his triple heart bypass. The whole business structure completely changed. His sort of love for the business died down. I know people around me who have suffered in their health, and things are just not the same for them anymore. His sons, i.e. my father, my uncle Saj, as well as my other two uncles, they took it upon themselves to continue on the business, and they found themselves here at this very store just behind me. They started pulling stock from the shop, bringing stock into the city centre, into the markets here, and actually flogging it on the market here for 50p, 20p, 70p, whatever it was at the time. That's where, for the business, things started to progress, and they started to progress pretty quickly. I mean, it's nothing how it is today. It's a dying trade. You know, coming into town, the whole retail aspect side of things in today's market is completely finished. We're all about online, e-commerce, you know, YouTube. As the years progressed, business started to pick up. They found their footings, and it was something that they're actually heavily invested in at the time. They then expanded to all the local markets, so your Warsaw, Bespoke market, Wolverhampton, and all the surrounding areas. So this store just behind us, believe it or not, is still in the family. It's run by one of my uncles. He's got his own shops as well. You know, I feel a type of way coming back here. I mean, this is before my time. We're talking about early 80s all the way up until late 90s. So you're talking about a 20-30 year span. Most of KBT's progression actually started here. You know, it's where things actually took a turn for the good. I used to come here in the late 90s with my mom. We used to come and see my dad, give him some lunch. In between his fish and chips that he used to have here in the market. But he always wanted a bit of home food on a Friday, I still remember. We're just at my uncle's store, but Big Gaffer's not here today, but Little Gaffer's here. This is my cousin, Big S. He doesn't want his full name to be disclosed, so we're gonna call him Big S. He's just here managing the market. He's been helping his dad for the last sort of 12 months.
It gets really hectic sometimes. You have people shouting there, people shouting on the other side. I guess you gotta stay level-headed, stay calm, and negotiate with the customers. I guess the majority of it is instinct. You gotta have it within you to handle the markets.
If this was the late 80s, the noughties, there'd be like madness here. There'd be people trampling on each other, trying to find a bargain. I think you still have that sort of community feel within the market, but let's keep moving. I think I would have quite enjoyed it. I'm a people's person. I think I would have quite enjoyed the hustle and bustle. I've always been a people's person,
You can't teach it to nobody, you either got it or you haven't. We got lettuce, cucumber, spring onion. Come and have a look, it's fresh. Dribble down your chin, sweet corn. There's sugar sweet, ready to eat, come on.
We got sweet corn, lettuce, sweet onions. Grab yourself a bargain. We're just at the poultry store. You've got your eggs, you've got your bread, you've got your cheese. So Tracy, you said you've been on the market for 62 years.
The store's been.
So this store's been on the market for 60. So this is family business.
It's a family brand. Not me. I just work for them.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
The brand has been going for that long. Yeah. Things have get.
I've been hearing that all across the market.
Well, you can see it. You can see it. You don't need us to go. It's. You wouldn't be able to walk past there.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to do this. We wouldn't be able to speak to you. Not in a disrespectful way. We would not be able to stand here now.
Time, yeah.
No. We would literally be running up and down, non-stop. So yeah.
So we just had a nice little chat with Tracy. As you can see, the running theme about the market is that it's a dying trade. There's not much left of it, and there's one thing that we didn't mention: the new congestion charge which has come to Birmingham. You can go online and you can buy your cheeses, you can buy your eggs, and you can buy your fabrics. And, just so I shouldn't be complaining. My bread and butter is online fabric business, but it's always good to meet customers face to face. I love it. I love having conversations. I love having chit chat with them, and that's why at Fabricuk we still allow people to come down. We still have the telephones active. You can call us at any time when we're open. We'll have that little interaction with you. We love speaking to our customers and see what everybody's about. It's quite unfortunate that everybody's got a negative taste in their mouth about the future of the market. I wish everybody the best of luck here, but from what my father has told me, from what my uncles have told me, business in the market back then, and as well as a lot of the market traders here have said, you're talking about 20, 30 years ago, business was booming in the market. A lot of them have told us that we would not be able to walk around here with a camera so casually, so freely. It just goes to show, hard work, dedication. And I know I've seen my father, I've seen him hard at work. Even till today, he doesn't get off his chair. He hardly goes on holidays. I do all that for him. Just all jokes aside, it's a tough life. You come at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, you unload your van, that takes half an hour. You set up your stall, you stand here, you'd get rained on, you'd get snowed on, and you have to do it. And he did it, fair play, and he deserves everything that he's got today. So my father and his brothers, they spent almost 15 years here in the market, but it's quite fortunate they made the right moves. They expanded out to the retail sector. The retail sector started to pick up. They picked up on that and they moved out. They moved out to the shops, and they moved the business away from the market. And it's quite fortunate really, because if they had stayed here like a few of the market traders have, they'd be in the situation, or they'd be in the boat that some of these market traders are actually in today. So thankfully they made the right moves. So that's everything from us here at the Bullring Markets. Even though I'm dressed for the occasion and I'm dressed to be in the 1980s, it is still 2021. We're still in the present time. I do got to get back to KBT. While we're on the way back, me and Amr are going to try and grab some lunch. We're going to touch a bit more on this tomorrow, and we'll carry the story on from there. So we're back at KBT, just had some lunch, just to keep the theme going. We had some fish and chips after we visited the market, and to further keep the mood going, we're gonna quickly do a product review. And today we're gonna review the tweed fabric. It was the thing to wear back in the 1980s, where the men and women of the time knew how to dress. So what we have here is what we call a herringbone tweed fabric, suitable for jackets, trousers, trench coats, any outdoor apparel, your blazers, your suit jackets, and just suits in general. So when Stanley's back from reupholstering the chicken shop, I'm going to ask him if he can kindly make me a suit out of this fabric. So we're just in the other warehouse, and I just walked past this fabric. This is 100% wool fabric. Also can be used to make blazers, a suit jacket, suit trousers, as well as the flat cap that I was wearing earlier. This is 100% wool fabric. It's made in Italy and imported in by Fabricuk. Again, it's available on our website, and samples are available on the house if you do send us a quick email, but we'll leave a link in the description below. Do go and check that out. Right, just caught up on all the paperwork. It's time to go home. It's just gone 6:30. We've done a bit of overtime today. Obviously, we'll let Soumya know all about that, so make sure we get paid. But all jokes aside, today's been a good day, reminiscing. Tomorrow we're going to keep this theme going, but for now, hasta la vista, baby. Top of the morning to you. You join us Wednesday, and we're just on the way to the next shop. We're currently in the year 1996. While we're still running our market stalls, things are looking up for KBT, and we've managed to purchase our second shop, which was not too far away from our first shop. It's literally a stone throw away, so we're just heading over back towards Alum Rock. We still currently own this shop in the year 2021. So the weather's got better over the last few days, and I didn't fancy getting back into my suit. So I am feeling a bit under the weather as well, but we continue to move on. We've got to get this vlog finished. I'm just in my comfy outfit, got my joggers on today. I hope you can excuse me that I'm not in the right attire, but I've still got my top hat on because I'm driving this old beast. Any minute now, I'm just waiting for a chuff and a hush, hush, and then that's it, mate. It's game over. But so far, so good. Big respect to Armour for organising this motor for us. And yeah, man, it's actually really comfortable to drive. Its seat is like a lorry seat. It's got like some sort of spring or suspension underneath it. And as you can see behind me, this is our second shop. So between the years of 1993 and 96, my father, his brothers, they went and bought this shop. They were still operating from the markets at this point, but my grandfather came back into the business, and my grandmother, and they were both running this shop. My people, look who we bumped into. It's MSB. Yes, MSB. Yes, I. Right, let's head on inside the shop. I had many childhood memories growing up in this shop. We used to have the back, which they've boarded up now, and they've split it into another shop, which is a barber's now. Many fond memories growing up in this shop, running around, giving my grandmother a hard time, you know, as you do as a kid. We used to get the rolls, the tubes, and me and my brother, we used to pretend to be in Star Wars and fight with each other with the tubes. And that's probably as fun as it got, really, until my dad turned up and gave us all a good hiding. But yeah, man, good memories. One for the storybooks. Right, he's got an absolute banger playing in the back, but we don't want to get copyrighted. I'm sure we won't. Let's head on down to our next shop, which is just further down the road. We're going to make sure when we stop at the lights, because of the age of this vehicle, we're going to put the car into neutral. We don't want to flood the engine full of fuel. It doesn't have the technology most modern cars do, so you've got to look after it. It's from the early 1900s. I mean, I know we're doing a 1969 sketch, but this car is from the early 1900s. So we're now 2 years later. We're currently 1998. This is now the third shop that KBT acquired. At this point, business is booming, alhamdulillah. Things are looking up. Things haven't changed much in the last 30 years. There's still a hell of a lot of fabric stores here. Right, that's everything from us today with regards to the throwback. We're gonna head on back towards KBT. We got loads on there. We're short staffed today. There's a couple of guys who haven't turned up, so I've got to get back to my normal day today. But it's most definitely lunchtime. things don't change. I would have been eating lunch at this time in 1969 as well. Right, we just had some lunch. We're back at KBT. I've got loads on, but I thought I'd quickly do a product review. If you remember earlier in the week when we first opened the vlog where you found me in 1969, or the background was in 1969, how we actually did that was because of this fabric here. This is a Chromakey green fabric. It's a 3 meter wide material. The whole process of this fabric, if you don't know, is for post-production use. I would film in front of it like I did before, and Armour or whoever is your video team would be able to actually change the background completely, and that is due to the color of the fabric. I could hang this up anywhere I am and I could look like I'm on the beach, or I could look like I'm anywhere in the world. That's this fabric in a nutshell. If you want to know more about this fabric, I'll leave a link in the description as always. It is available on our website. We do sell this. We sell it a 3 meter wide, and then we sell a heavyweight for more commercial use, what you'd find the BBC or ITV or any of these news channels or whoever it may be. The link is below. Do go and check that out. It's a good read. Naviz, render, picture card, Siski. I'll get it out. So we just got a pallet that we're gonna load up onto the truck. It's going out for delivery. We've got 3,000 meters of glitter going out to a customer up north. So we're just going to load this up into the truck, and then hopefully this should get to the customer for tomorrow morning. Right, I just loaded the pallet up into the truck. I think we'll leave today here. I've still got loads of paperwork to do. I'm going to go in. Armour's got loads of editing to do, so we're going to send him on his way. Hopefully we can get some editing done tonight, and then I'll see you guys most definitely tomorrow. And don't forget, you're watching who? You're watching KBT Weekly, baby! Here. It's the year 1999 and I've just turned up outside our first ever commercial building that we purchased. It's been the home of KBT ever since. We've been here for approximately 22 years to date. In 1999 the building looked nothing like this. We didn't have a Bentley, we weren't that rich at the time, but just to continue on with the theme, we've now found ourselves in an old 1990s Bentley, finished in this beautiful red color. Me personally, I would never go for red, but anyway, it is what it is. Still a beautiful car, even today, even however old it is, 30 years plus. Unfortunately, we don't really have any old archive images of our old retail shops. A fire broke out in the warehouse. The building was burnt down and nothing was left of it bar a steel structure. Everything was burnt in the fire. We should have had a fire retardant building, but they didn't make them. And they still don't make them. We'll quickly take a little walk through the warehouse. It was still 2-story. In 2005, when we started to rebuild, we purchased the rear of there's actually a pub which sits next door to us. We purchased the rear of their garden, and then as we progressed, which we will talk about after we visit our 4th retail shop, we purchased the building where you now see Stanley working on the quilting machines. But we'll just take a little walk. I'll just show you the layout, the space of what the old warehouse used to be like. So it was built just like this, as a corner plot. Come on through, Armour. So if I remember rightly, the stairs were here, or they were in the middle. The old warehouses used to have the old heater elements with the chimneys right down the center. And I remember, because I used to run around here, there used to be a massive heater in the middle with a flue going all the way up to the roof. And we used to have fabric all the way around, and literally this warehouse was stacked from bottom to top, full of Asian dresswear fabric. So the layout was very similar to the way it is now, but the warehouse ended. So we used to have the loading doors here. As things progressed post-fire. We were in talks with the pub next door. We managed to acquire the rear of the building. All this from here, all the way down. To here is the pub garden, which subsequently made the building into an L shape. We'll talk more about the expansion later on in the day as the timeline progresses, but let's head on back out and jump into the car.
TV people want out of the way.
Sorry, mate.
Work been happening here, mate.
I'm KBT Weekly, me. You better get to know, mate, because when I'm famous, you're all gonna want my autograph, and I'll charge you. So for now, get out my way. Right, we're just heading over towards Stratford Road. See what the locals are up to. It's older than me, this car is. The other car was older than my dad. Early 1940s that car was. But I'll tell you what, this car still got some poking armour. It gets off, bro. But it's not my car. So we show it the utmost respect. If it was mine, I'd be handbrake turning this car around KBT roundabout. So we're just here at number 361 to 363 Stratford Road in Sparkhill. This was our fourth and very final retail shop that we bought. We operated from this shop for approximately 15 years. As well as the other shops, we were operating from here. We had given our market stalls away, but it was still in the family. One of our cousins had taken over the market. It was when we bought this shop, things started to change for KBT. Saj, he was very well versed with the internet. As you may or may not know, the internet was growing at a pace no one would ever thought it would be what it is today. Everyone thought Saj was crazy. He used to sit in front of a computer day and night, and that's how Fabricuk was born. And everyone thought, my dad included, everyone thought, well, what's this guy doing? You know, what is the internet? Nobody really knew. Currently they've split the shop into two. So one half is a barber's and the other half is now a bridal. Coincidentally, still fabric, even though the barber shop's got nothing to do with fabric, but half the shop, at least half the shop is still something to do with fabric. Anyway, so at this point, the whole business model had changed. We moved away from the ladies' dresswear fabric and we moved into the commercial fabric trade for your hotels, your schools, things like that. You know, if you guys have been keeping up to date with the vlogs, you'll see the sort of things that we sell. And in a way, this is sort of a tribute to them, a tribute to my grandfather. I probably haven't done this the best that I could probably do it. And hopefully as things progress with the vlogs, with the weeklies, we'll try and do another one, a more in-depth one, something that we solely concentrate on during the week. We didn't want to bore you to death with loads of information, but as things progress and the channel gets bigger and more people start watching, we'll obviously do something like this again. Seeing as we're on Stratford Road, Big Chicken is just behind us. As you all know, Stanley was working on the seats, the benches inside Big Chicken. So let's just take a quick walk up to Big Chicken and let's just see. He hasn't finished. Let's just try and show you guys the benches that he has finished and how they've come out. So as you can see, Stanley's done a wonderful job. As you can see, it's finished perfectly, piped, lined, stitched and sealed. We will definitely come back when the whole job is completed just to give you a before and after. Anyway, let's head on back towards KBT. We'll talk about the final stages of KBT when we're back in the warehouse. So we're back at KBT, let's just say somewhere between 2014 to the present day. Let's head on in, let's talk about the expansion, let's talk about the new warehouse and how things progressed there onwards. So I brought you guys up until this point earlier on, so let's head on through and let's talk about the expansion. So where we're standing now is the building next door to the pub. So all of that bit there, just behind you, that is the pub and the small garden that they still have. This building is now a U-shape and now we're on the other side of the road. Thanks to this archway that we built to enable us to come through. The business is expanding, we needed the space. We literally were having to take container loads of fabric home with us. Not literally, but you get my gist. So we've expanded into this warehouse, and alhamdulillah, this warehouse is absolutely ram-packed. So we've outgrown this space very, very quickly as well. This is a mezzanine floor we had put in. This wasn't there originally. So that's a sample room upstairs. As you can see, it's just rows and rows of fabric. Our plan was to make this the entrance, but unfortunately, what's happened is this is now turned into our delivery bay. Not really ideal for customers to come in this way, so we keep that the main entrance, and we're using this as a delivery bay, as well as making our pallets, etc, etc. We'll go into the larger warehouse. This is our third warehouse. So this was all part of one warehouse. So this used to be an old factory where they used to make components, your nuts, your bolts and things like that. That there was their foundry, but as you can see, it's now a fabric warehouse. So this is where we store most of our fabrics. We've got approximately 1.5 million meters of fabric on the floor here. And if we carry on walking down, you're all well versed with this area. This is Stanley's section where he does the stitching work, he does the quilting work. We also have this shutter here for loading and things like that. Once the quilting work is done, it goes out, the van backs up to this shutter and it leaves the warehouse from there. But that is more or less everything in terms of KBT and its progression. Hopefully I haven't missed out too much, but there is one thing I didn't touch on, which was my grandfather's passing. Sadly, he left us in the early 2000s. Things were never the same for a fair few years. Obviously it hit his sons, i.e. my dad, Saj, and my other uncles hard, because their dad, like my dad, has always been my role model. I couldn't imagine how things would be without my dad, so hopefully may Allah give him a long life, may Allah give all my family a long life, inshallah. I am going to do an in-depth vlog on 1969 to the present day, but that's going to take time. I'm going to write down every little thing down on a piece of paper. I'm going to try and find as many images in the archives as possible. Whereas I did mention previously, a lot of our old photos and memories did get burnt in the fire back in 2005. So sadly, we don't really have much. That is everything from the history of KBT. Let's get on with the present day. We've got loads on.
Faris will leave KBT because he's movie star now. I like this guy. He's big talent. This is Birmingham Mafia 16. Peaky Blinder. My lovely style. Red big chicken. Come for more material. So black leather and red leather. And carry on in my unit. Bye.
Just got changed, just popped into full storage. I had trade plates, which I was using to drive the cars. Just drop them back off here. We're off to Leicester now. We'll catch you when we're there. Just got to Leicester. We're about 5 minutes away. Unfortunately, we've been stuck in a lot of traffic. I don't normally come to Leicester on a Friday, so I think it was a bad idea. As a result of the traffic, and looking at the time now, which is coming up to 4 o'clock, we ain't gonna have time to have lunch and make it back to KBT. So I think we'll have to give lunch a miss. But me and Amr, we're gonna go out later.
It's me again, man. It's me again. Installing telephone system. Mr. Jack of all trade, electrical trade, of course. The list never ends. It's an ongoing. When I think I've finished, I find me something else to do. There's always something to be done here.
So we're just heading back out of Leicester. We just stopped at the supplier. We picked up the load. We're using the Golf as a van again. We should really stop doing that, but it is what it is. We get the job done. Anyway, let's head back towards KBT. As you know, we've had no lunch. I'm starving, and I'm starting to get a bit twitchy. Whilst we're on the motorway and we've got this time, Asad's niece, Maria, big up to you, who's a loyal follower. And also just want to big up everyone else who's been watching my vlogs from the start. I appreciate all the love. I see you all. I'm not going to say I don't have time to reply to them. It's just I just don't get around to replying to them because I'm always literally I get a phone call and then literally as I'm walking out the door something else will come up, so never take it personally. Right, just got back to KBT, just gonna unload the rolls. We just walked in and Saj handed me this, seeing as we're doing a throwback. This is a serious throwback. So my granddad, his brother, who used to own a shop in London, you don't get bags like this anymore though, mate. It's like, oh god, I've ripped it already. So just had a last minute order come through. We're gonna try and get this rolled up because TNT's on the way. It's 5:30, it should be here any minute. Just gonna measure this so we can bill the customer. But where we're gonna go eat though, more importantly?
There's only one thing I remember, 1969. I was born with a roll of cloth. I gotta go, see you later.
And that brings this week at KBT Weekly to a close. We're gonna go and eat now. I've had enough of work. I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. It did take a bit of planning, which we didn't really do. You know me and Amr, wingers till the end. Alright, we've just pulled up to Turknaz here in Shirley. Let's head on in and grab some munch because we are starving. So the mains have just turned up. It looks delicious. I'm gonna get straight into it. Chat to you guys when we're finished. So just finished up having a scran. Don't know whether I'll be coming back anytime soon, but it was decent. It's been a humbling week, going back to my roots, seeing all the hard work, all the effort my family have put in to build the business to where it is today. I was thinking of skipping 1 week just to give us a bit of breathing room, but I think that's a bad idea. We should keep the flow going because I don't want to stop. I'll find myself becoming complacent and you know, I don't want to do that. Let us know what you think of the vlog and make sure you don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Keep sharing it with your friends and family. As always, I'm Faris and you're watching KBT Weekly. See you next week.